This is Adam from Fast Forward Rewind on KHEN Radio 106.9 in beautiful Salida, Colorado. I'm here with Emily Kavanaugh and Mark Brooks of Nightclub. Can you tell me how you met and decided to form Nightclub?
We met about 6 years ago. Mutual friends. He used to direct a show called Metalocalypse that was on Adult Swim. And the creator of that show and his girlfriend, who we were friends with, had a dinner party and invited both of us, and we met at their house. And then we just kind of forged, this mutual, a friendship, and, you know.
We started working on stuff together after that. Kind of, after hanging out for a while, we just realized that we had the same taste in music, and we just thought we'd take a crack at doing some songs. And originally we just kind of started trying to write stuff for people, like to do songwriting for people, and then we just sort of liked what we were doing so much that we were like, yeah, maybe we should do a band.
Like, the first song we wrote was a song called Love Struck, and we were very inspired by a Selena Gomez song. So I don't know why, we just really liked that song, and so we just wanted to kind of write a song in that style a little bit. It doesn't sound anything like the Selena Gomez song, and at first, I demoed it, and I was just like, we're not going to use my vocals or anything. It's just for a demo to try and see if we can shop around the song or something like that. And then, because I had no confidence in myself as a singer at all. I didn't think I could do it. So, and then we just did it, and he convinced me to be in a band, basically. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll try to be a lead singer. I don't know. I mean, I've been singing my whole life, but I've never taken singing lessons. I've never really done any of that stuff. So this is my first foray into any kind of musical endeavor, I think.
Nice. Were you into theater or anything like that in school?
I was, yeah. I was actually a basketball player for most of my life, and then I got really injured in high school, and I quit sports, and then I just started doing theater, and I started doing acting. I refused to do musical theater because I hate musical theater. Played guitar, taught myself how to play, and that was what I did in high school and college.
Nice. So are you guys working on any new songs yet?
Yeah, we it's a weird process for us. We write a lot of instrumentals, we write a lot of music, a lot of things, and we come up with little hooks and whatever things that we just basically try and write, and we'll just have tons of them, and we'll spend 6 to 9 months just writing lots of music. And then the stuff that survives out of that inspires us the most is the ones that we then start forging into songs.
Put lyrics to.
And then we start writing lyrics to them, and then we redefine them, and we just keep working on them, and ultimately they turn into songs, and we're really, really picky, and if every part isn't working, then we scrap the song.
Do you guys have any plans to come back to Denver? More of a tour of you guys?
We've been touring for the last 5 years, really, randomly. It's just that it's recently gotten better because we're getting better gigs and better exposure, I guess, or whatever.
We're actually playing in front of people now.
Yeah, well, now we play in front of people.
For years, it was just because when you first start out, it's nobody knows who you are, so you're just kind
nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares.
And especially when you're a synth band and it's 2 people, it's really easy to get lost in the fray because there's a lot of those, and you really have to kind of define yourself, and so that people are like, oh, I actually like that band, and I'm going to go see that band. So in the last year, it seems like it's gotten better since our full length came out. Mm-hmm. And so I think there's plans to do all that stuff.
Do a great job of engaging the crowd, which is awesome. Some singers just kind of stand there and sing their song.
I think just naturally I'm just kind of aggressive or something, not in real life, but on stage I think I'm pretty aggressive. But I don't ever want to be that band that just stands behind synthesizers and doesn't move, because I find that really boring. So I go out of my way to really move and dance and and be engaging and headbang and whatever, because I find it, I want to see people moving around. I don't want to see people just twisting knobs and totally. That bores me to tears. So
right.
Yeah, and I think when we started this band, we kind of I don't think we sonically figured it out until this record, but we were we kind of want to be almost like a hard rock electronic band, without guitars or drummers. How could we be AC/DC, but with synthesizers and stuff, and just do something that sounds like one part AC/DC, one part Britney Spears or whatever, and mash those two things together and do these things that are like pop, but hard and distorted and bombastic. And I think that's kind of also Emily's demeanor on stage comes out of that sound a little bit.
Right. So I remember you, or your band back in the day, the Warlock Pinchers. I grew up here in Denver. And were you into the kind of music that you're playing now back then?
100%. I mean, if you look back at the history of anything I did, early Pinchers was we were covering Tiffany records. Our very first song that we ever played, I think, like really played, was "Burning Up" by Madonna, and that was in '87. Like me and King Scratchy, who started that band, we were obsessed with pop music and loved pop music, and we loved girl singers. And Warlock Pinchers was just a sloppy weirdo band but we loved pop music. Like we genuinely loved it. And even when we had that reunion, whatever, 6 years ago, we made all those Bieber shirts with the Bieber shield because we loved Justin Bieber. And it wasn't, and everyone thought it was just like ironic and everything, but no, we made it because we like Justin Bieber, and it was our way of saying like, hey, fuck you guys, you're all closed-minded, and you should just fucking listen to music and appreciate it for what it is. And ultimately, that's kind of how I've felt my whole life. So in Foreskin 500 and Pinchers, and in this band, I've always liked dance music and I've always liked pop music, and I think that lineage is there throughout. Maybe people don't realize it, but it really has been.
How about you, Emily? What kind of music have you been into?
Oh, well, I mean, like when I was growing up, like Britney Spears was like number one in my life, and I would like highlight my hair blonde, and like I really would try to do sit-ups and like try to like have abs, which didn't really work, but I'm not Britney. But Blackout, her 2007 album, like when she was going insane, is like one of my favorite albums of all time. And when we were making this album, we're like, how do we like possess that sound of Blackout in a current modern electronic album, like a dance album? So like we really channeled that album a lot. Her latest album, not as much, but like kind of lately, I haven't really been digging Britney as much. But anyway, so I love pop music. I've always loved pop music. I love rap, like 2000s rap. Not as much now rap, but
what are you guys into now?
It's weird. I mean, It's like when you play all the time, your world is a little weird. Like the stuff I listen to isn't represented into what we do necessarily, because a band becomes its own life. Like in Pinchers, like we started that. Me and Scratchy were obsessed with rap in the 80s. And no one really liked rap back then. Like that was like white kids from the suburbs. It wasn't a thing yet. And so it kind of got incorporated into it. But ultimately we weren't like, hey, let's go check out all these cool like new metal bands that came out later. We're just like not into it later. So in the same case with this band, it's like we do what we do, but ultimately I want to go see 21 Pilots, or I want to see the 1975, or I want to go see...
seen both of them this year, and they were great.
Yeah,
they're really great.
We go see pop bands and stuff. But then, like, on this tour, I've watched Combi Cry's set every night because I'm blown away by it. Because it's just a spectacle, and it sounds so awesome. And it fulfills my, like, hard rock desire, like, that I want to hear, like... bombastic, ridiculous hard rock that's like got electronics in it and stuff. So I feel like when we go on tour, we kind of get exposed to things, and then you kind of fall in love with these things as you go along, But when I really think about what I listen to, it's a lot of pop music, or semi-pop music, like weird pop music, like the 1975, not necessarily
dark pop.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing that has happened on tour so far, or that's happened with a fan?
Oh, one weird thing? It's not going to sound that dynamic, but this guy in England kept ordering shirts from us.
Oh, yeah.
And then he would write us and sue us for the shirt not arriving, and he would take it, and he did it to us 3 times.
You said, I never got the shirt, or
I never got the shirt, and too wrinkled, and I can't wear it. And it was the weirdest thing, how defiant he was, and he kept doing it, that I had to block him from everything. And he was so psychotic about it that I was just like, that is so strange.
Use any sort of like merch company or anything.
I mean,
like we're just doing everything
by
ourselves.
It's pretty weird.
I know.
This one's more for you, Mark. Did you ever find Crispin Glover?
I found Crispin Glover many times, actually.
Yeah.
Well, because totally. Crispin Glover ended up getting asked wherever he would go in the 90s, like, hey, have you heard of the Warlock Pictures? He's like, yes, I know. Where the hell is Crispin Glover? I never was told about band practice and whatever. So he would just go through the whole thing, whatever. That's really funny. And then I ended up having this job in LA, like late 90s, where somebody I worked with started dating him. And so he would show up at our parties and stuff. And then I was like, one day just went up to him. I was like, hey, I'm Mark. I was in Warlock Pinterest. And he's like, you motherfucker. Like, he's like, you know what? Kudos to you. It worked. And I actually weirdly like the Warlock Pinterest now because everyone bothered me about it. So then I finally started listening to you guys and then I liked it. Nice. So yeah, I found him. He still does not want to show up to band practice stuff.
Oh, what else are you guys into besides music?
Wine.
We love wine. Cats.
Cats. Lots of cats.
Animals.
Life. Being alive.
Bad reality TV. The Bachelor. Love The Bachelor. Mostly wine. We're like very into wine. Like very snobby with wine.
Not snobby with too much, but with wine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you done much hanging out with your old friends back in Denver?
Yes, just now. I was hanging out with a bunch of them.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to all sorts of people I haven't seen in a long time.
Before you snatched us and brought us outside. Yeah.
And it was nice to hear when Emily's like, hey, did anyone know the Pinchers or whatever? And to hear people go, yeah, I know that band. You know, that feels good.
Yeah, like, it was like a big cheer. It was like people knew, remember. And that's really cool.
To have done something a long time ago that people even give a shit about. Yeah. That's kind of nice. Yeah. I mean, that holds a dear place in my heart, that era of stuff. I'm really proud of Warlock Pinchers. I mean, the fact that we were just these numbskulls that would like somehow pulled this thing together that got pretty successful at being complete outsiders is awesome. But at the same time, we broke up when I was 22, and you just can't keep making fun of Morrissey, and you know what I mean? Like, I leave that for some kid to write that now, you know?
The next wave of idiots.
Yeah, the next wave of idiots can do that stuff. I'm kind of wanting to sit around and write songs, and, this is what it is.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem like a natural thing to be like, hey, all you Pinchers fans, come check out my pop band.
Yeah.
My dark pop band.
Different vibes.
Yeah, it's just different vibes. So I kind of feel like it's a trick or treat for somebody to go, that guy was in that band? And that's usually what happens. We end up playing some show and some promoter or some guy in a band or something, what? You were in? Because it's never like formerly of or members of. I feel like you should, with bands, you should just go back out there and earn it on your own. Don't rest on your past accomplishments, Go prove that you can do it again.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys.
It's Emily from Nightclub, and you're listening to Fast Forward Rewind with Adam on KHEN 106.9, Salida, Colorado.